Now, China is calling for a large-scale international peace conference to discuss the establishment of a Palestinian state. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi also called for a ceasefire in Gaza during a meeting with the Egyptian Foreign Minister in Cairo. He says Beijing is worried about the growing threat of a wider conflict. Well, Katrina Yu joins us live now from Beijing. Katrina, we haven't heard much Chinese reaction since the Gaza war started. So what more did Wang Yi have to say then?
Well, actually, China was very vocal after the initial beginning of the war in October. In the weeks following, China called for a ceasefire rather quickly. It's also sent a special envoy. It's been quite vocal at the United Nations. But it is true that this is the most significant statement we've had on the crisis recently from Wang Yi. And he made these statements while on a tour of the Middle East and Africa. He's currently in Tunisia. And this statement was released after a stop in Egypt, where he met with the foreign minister there, as well as the Secretary General of the League of Arab States. Now, what Wang Yi is calling for, the foreign minister from China is calling for, is a large-scale peace conference to discuss the implementation of a two-state solution, one that Wang Yi says must be authoritative and effective. And it seems that China feels that not enough is being done by the international community to bring an end to this crisis, and that China is disappointed that there hasn't been any sort of concrete solution that's come out of the processes at the United Nations. Now, if you go through this statement, it's also very clear that Wang Yi and Beijing are impatient that this war has gone on now for 100 days. He reiterated the extreme loss of life, civilian life, the damage to infrastructure. And it's also very clear that Beijing is very worried about this conflict spiraling out of control, seeing now that it has spread to Yemen. And without mentioning Israel directly in this statement, what China wants is a peace conference by the international community, really to put more pressure on Tel Aviv and the leaders there to take more seriously the implementation and to work towards steps that will actually bring about a two-state solution.
All right, Katrina Yu, live for us there in Beijing. Katrina, thank you.